right, welcome back to Clear Cut Plus. I'm Michelle McCory. Back here in the U.S., partisan politics escalated into a full-out war in Washington, D.C. The Speaker of the House calling the Attorney General a liar, saying he is guilty of the crime of perjury. Speaker Pelosi's words came as Attorney General Barr refused to show up to answer questions in the House Judiciary Committee over disagreements with the format. Barr's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee meeting yesterday was rather heated, to put it mildly. And today, the political flames were even hotter. Serena Marshall reports.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi accusing Attorney General William Barr of lying to Congress, which she noted is a crime.
He lied to Congress. If anybody else did that, it would be considered a crime. Nobody is above the law, not the President of the United States and not the Attorney General.
The Justice Department blasting those remarks as reckless, irresponsible, and false. But the Speaker referring to this congressional hearing last month.
Members of the special counsel's team are frustrated at some level with the limited information included in your March 24th letter. Do you know what they're referencing with that?
No, I don't.
Today, his witness seat sat empty. Barr refusing to testify before the House Judiciary Committee after objecting to the format approved by the Democratic chairman, which included having committee lawyers join in on the questions.
We cannot permit him or anybody in the administration to dictate the manner in which we function.
If he and his committee aren't capable of actually asking the Attorney General questions themselves and need to staff that out, it seems like a pretty pathetic moment.
The 20-minute hearing a stark juxtaposition to the more than 5-hour hearing Barr sat through in the Republican-led Senate. But even there, tempers flared, specifically about that letter special counsel Robert Mueller sent to Barr days after the AG submitted his principal conclusions of the report in a 4-page statement to Congress.
The letter's a bit snitty, and I think it was probably written by one of his staff people.
Chairman Jerry Nadler saying Barr's decision to not show up may mean he'll be held in contempt.
And that was Serena Marshall reporting there. Joining me now is Tom Borelli. Tom is a contributor to the Conservative Review and to America's Voice. And Ellis Hennigan. Ellis is a columnist for Global Metro Papers. His column is Trump's America, and he is also the author of the book Trumpitude: The Secret Confessions of Donald's Brain. I've always been curious how you got those secret confessions of the president's brain.
Very good sources, I promise you.
I'm sure you do, Ellis. All right, let's focus on what's happening right now. We've got House Speaker Pelosi calling the United States Attorney General a liar. The Democrats using a prop chicken in the hearing today for complete political theater. The Mueller report has come out. There is no collusion. There's no conspiracy. 2020 elections are around the corner. As a Democrat, strategically speaking, is it better for the Democrats to just move on and focus on some policy, focus on some legislation so they can tell the American people, this is what we've done for you?
Well, both are important. Clearly, you've got to have policy. But you know what? Congress does have a responsibility to provide some oversight to this administration. The guy who doesn't show up at the hearing, he always loses because the other people are there and they're able to bang at him and to poke, as Nancy Pelosi was, to point out his lies. I think it's a big day for Dems.
Alleged lies. Tom?
I think Democrats are making a huge mistake. They should be focusing on what the American people want. If I were them, I would be focusing on the crisis on the border. We have thousands of people coming across the border illegally, I might add, drugs. That's where the American people are. I think the problem with Democrats, at least the leadership, is they're playing to their radical base on the coasts, and they're forgetting about that precious swing states in the middle, the battleground states. I think they can lose the 2020 by ignoring them, just like they lost in 2016.
Well, the front runner for 2020 is still a Democratic for the Democrats at least, is still Joe Biden. And he's gotten himself into quite a bit of hot water from all sides for comments that he made at Wednesday night at an event in Iowa City, saying that China is not competition for the U.S. Let's take a listen.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the west. They can't figure out how they're going to deal with the corruption that exists within the system. I mean, they're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us.
Not competition for us. Ellis, even Bernie Sanders had the good sense to tweet, it's wrong to pretend that China isn't one of our major economic competitors.
Well, I'm sure that Joe Biden appreciates the advice, but you know what? He's doing great. First of all, have you seen the polls, where he stands against Donald Trump? And
but from a foreign policy perspective, do you want a leader of the American people that thinks China is not a competitor?
You know, I'm not sure it's working out too well for us to be all jittery about China. In fact, every time we go to Walmart, we buy something Chinese, so somehow or another we need to deal with these people. And I don't know that just folding is the best approach. I think the guy came off pretty well in that, actually.
Folding? How is folding what the U.S. is doing now with President Trump trying to take on China with this new trade deal?
We've had absolutely no success either at effectively being tough, nor making some kind of arrangement that actually helps us. What we're doing is hurting ourselves with tariffs, as you know.
They are currently, so far, the tariffs haven't hurt the U.S. economy. 3.2% GDP.
They're already doing some damage.
So not significant damage. We do know that a trade deal is being negotiated, but so we'll see how that plays out. But Tom, what do you make of the fact that you've got Biden saying that China isn't competition, just dismissing it?
I find it shocking, I find it reckless, and I really find it dangerous. China is the #2 economy in the world at about 12 trillion, and it's growing about 6% every year. That's a potential. Plus, they get there by cheating. They've looted our intellectual property, estimates anywhere between $225 billion a year and $600 billion. They're looting us. Manufacturing, they've taken a lot of millions of our manufacturing jobs since around 2001 when they entered the World Trade System. And from that, and how they do that? Lower environmental standards and really, really low wages. Tariffs, they stop us from going in. Other than that, they're not a risk. Let's not forget about the military risk. They're the second largest military. They're expanding around the globe. They're in Western Africa. They're back Maduro. What else do we need to know? But according to Biden, don't worry about it.
Let me tell you what we do need to know. Have you looked at the trade deficit lately? 2 years into the Trump administration, all of these policies have been a proven economic day after day failure. We all have to acknowledge that.
The president is currently negotiating a new deal.
Yeah, how's that going?
Well, we'll see how that's going.
But Tom, to Ellis's point,
you're
running a book. You want me to rob your book?
But Tom, to Ellis's point. The Trump administration has the skill that it's working.
Right.
How critical is it that the Trump administration does come out of this with a big win?
It is critical, and it's a process that many presidents, both Republican and Democrat, have ignored. That's why we lost millions of jobs, and that's why President Trump is in the White House, because he's appealing to the people in the West who lost those jobs. And if Biden wants to be the hero of the blue-collar worker, he's going to lose. He backed NAFTA. He started he liked TPP. He's not going to get those precious Midwest votes. Not
Ellis,
at all.
10 seconds. We've got to wrap it. Final words.
You know who the problem is for the president on this? A Republican senators whose constituents are saying, end these tariffs. You're killing us on the farms. You're destroying manufacturing. Get rid of those tariffs. And then maybe you'll get your new NAFTA. Maybe you'll get your China deal.
The job numbers in the economy do paint a different picture. Thank you so much, though. Ellis Hennick and Tom Borelli, appreciate it. All right.